Welcome to Bourbon School. I'm Brian, and today I'm going to give you my list of 5 whiskey tube channels that you should be watching. Okay, so about a month or so ago, Black Bourbon Family, which is another great whiskey tube channel, started this little trend on YouTube of basically shouting out whiskey tube channels that they enjoy and they think people should check out. And since then, some other people have done similar. The Bourbon Jerk did one, and Ben, our friend Ben from the Bourbon Note, made one as well. And I thought this is a great idea because when we were starting, one of the things that really helped us to grow was other channels shouting us out, namely Bobby from Bad X Bourbon, Ben and Greg from the Bourbon Note. We had a lot of people who were real kind to us and shouted us out and you know, kind of turned people on to our channel. So I thought, what a great way to kind of do the same for some other channels. Now, some of these channels are bigger than us, some of them are smaller, but these are channels that I've come across in my travels through the YouTubes, and I've really, really enjoyed. So before I go any further, if you like this channel and what we're doing here, please like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell for notifications. We just recently hit 1,800 subscribers, so thank you all so much for hitting that subscribe button. And if you haven't done it yet, why don't you make today the day? So I have gone through kind of my channels I've subscribed to, the channels that I watch regularly, and some new channels that I've more recently discovered. Actually, a couple of these, as I was starting to gather information about this video, I actually came across a channel or two that I was like, oh my God, I'm putting them on the list. This is awesome. So first and foremost, before we go any further, it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. Our friends in the Whiskey Six, that's Bad X Bourbon, the Bourbon Note, Whiskey Wars and Mash and Metal, and the Bourbon Drop. Guys, definitely channels you all need to check out and subscribe to if you have not yet. They're our friends. They are our ride or dies, and I definitely would put them on this list first and foremost. But these are some channels that maybe you're familiar with, maybe you're not, but that I think are good ones to go check out. So the first one I have on the list is Frontiersman Adventures. This is Walter and Tina, and this is such a cool channel. What you're going to notice is that a lot of the channels I picked are not necessarily just bourbon related. They're kind of bourbon centric, but they do go off into other directions and do other things. And Walter and Tina are awesome. First of all, they're super, super nice. I have gone back and forth with them in comments, and they're just so nice and supportive. They have given us nice compliments about our channel, and I really do like their channel. Walter is like a cowboy. Like, he is legit like a frontiersman, and his wife Tina, they go basically on road trips. They do bourbon hunting on their road trips. They do blind battles and tournaments. They're right now doing a bottle tournament, and then they do stuff like hunting for Bigfoot. And it's really, really cool. So there's a little bit of everything for you on their channel. I think they're a really cool couple, and they do some really cool content. So you should definitely check out Frontiersman Adventures. Next on my list is John over at Distilled, Brewed, and Reviewed. Now, way back when we first started our channel, we started it in the winter. I think it was like December of 2022. And then that next April, we went to Kentucky with some friends, and I met John at a Total Wine. John was doing samples at Total Wine, and we struck up a conversation, and I found out John had a YouTube channel. And John is a really cool guy. He's got an amazing voice for video and voiceover and radio and what have you, just a great broadcasting voice. And he is another one that does a little bit of everything. It's right in the name, Distilled, Brewed, and Reviewed. So anything you can distill or brew, he talks about. So he definitely does bourbon and other liquor and whiskeys and what have you, but he also reviews things like coffee and beer and canned cocktails. He does a really, really good job with giving you a real good picture of the notes he's getting, the flavors, the aromas. And I love them. I'm a coffee guy as well, so this one really kind of hits for me. And I think John's got a great channel. So that's Distilled, Brewed, and Reviewed. Go check him out. Next on my list are our friends Brian and Deb at the Buffalo Bourbon Enthusiasts. And I think these two are just top notch. They have a great channel. I have watched them grow, not only in numbers, but just in the way they produce things and the way they connect and communicate on camera. They are really great people, super nice, and they're really building a really nice channel and a really nice Facebook community as well. So go check that out. They are really, like, Brian and Deb have their finger on the pulse of like what's coming in where around the Western New York area. They have a lot of connections with store owners. They are constantly checking in with them, and they end up grabbing some really nice bottles. So they are a really great channel. If you're looking or interested in like allocated or harder to find stuff, they've got it and they'll put it up for a review. So I like that a lot. And also Brian has been instrumental in helping us get involved in barrel picks up around the Buffalo area. And he's been really generous in like kind of connecting us with people. So we really love them. And I will tell you what else about Brian and Deb. They are the kind of people that kind of exemplify Western New York. They're nice people, they're kind, they're open, friendly people, and that's what Western New York's all about. So go check out Brian and Deb at Buffalo Bourbon Enthusiasts. Fourth on my list, Whiskey Trek. And this, like, just see, I got my Marvel shirt on today. This really speaks to my nerddom. I am like a Star Wars, Marvel, Doctor Who guy. Star Trek is kind of on the list, a little lower on the list, but I am like especially like an old school Star Trek fan. And Whiskey Trek is basically, they're a couple, they're a younger couple, younger than us. And they have kind of combined their love of Star Trek and their love of bourbon. And their names are Jackson and Natalie, and they're Trekkies and bourbon enthusiasts. And their channel is just a lot of fun. They definitely, when they review a bottle or they do a blind, they definitely take it seriously, but they don't take themselves too seriously. You can just tell they're having a really great time. They have fun doing what they're doing. They did a video where they reviewed Star Trek whiskey. I mean, they are a really, really fun couple to watch. And they just recently were on Whiskey Wisdom, and that's kind of how I got exposed to them. I saw that and I was like, oh, these two are fun. And I went and checked out their channel. So Whiskey Trek, especially if you're like a sci-fi nerd or a Trekkie, they are definitely a cool channel to check out. And finally, my last channel that I'm going to recommend is Seaway Whiskey Wire. That's a mouthful. Tyler is the gentleman who runs this channel, and his kind of tagline is whiskey drams and cocktail slams. And that really speaks to me because you guys know we love our cocktail videos, even though like 12 people watch them and it doesn't get a lot of views and a lot of engagement. That's fine. We love to make cocktails here. And so anybody else who is on that cocktail train and is like doing those videos, I love. The other thing I like is that Tyler throws in a lot of history and lore when he does a cocktail or talks about a particular bottle that might have some history behind that. He gives it to you. And I really do like that too. As a history teacher, that kind of connects with me. This also fills our Canadian content requirement. And even though it's only, I did the math, out of 5, one Canadian channel out of 5 makes it 16.6666 repeating percent. And the requirement in Canada is 35%, but maybe if Canadian Chris comments on this, then we can up the Canadian content a little bit. But I do like Seaway Whiskey Wire. Bourbon reviews, that's the whiskey drams, and the cocktail slams, he does cocktail videos. Great channel, seems like a cool guy, friendly guy. Like all Canadians. They're just super, super nice, and Tyler is no exception. So there is my list of 5 Whiskey Tube channels you should be checking out. And I want you guys in the comments to let me know, maybe there's some Whiskey Tube channels, especially smaller ones that maybe people haven't come across. Let us know who they are in the comments below. excuse me. And we'll go check those out too. But I love this idea. I love that Black Bourbon Family did this. I love that the Bourbon Jerk and the Bourbon Note continued it, and I wanted to continue it too. So any of my Whiskey Tube friends out there, this is a great video to make just to give a boost to maybe some smaller channels that maybe people haven't discovered yet, or just some other channels that you really, really like. So I want to see those videos, and I want to see in the comments your favorite channels out there in Whiskey Tube. And if you like this video, please make sure you like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another episode of Bourbon School. Cheers, everyone.